Hello, and welcome to my channel. This is whatever day it is, I can't even remember. But today I wanted to speak about, I've got all the notes in here, so I'm gonna keep on looking. Today I wanted to talk about, do you need a niche to be a successful photographer? Yes, that's the one. So the question is, do you need a niche to become a successful photographer? And my answer to this would be, whatever I'm teaching in here, whatever I have dedicated my last 10 years to, was newborn photography. And I do believe my type of photography and my career that I've done is very niched. Very niched, because we've got such a little time space in the baby's life, which is the 2-week period that we do take the photos in. Well, as kind of a standard opinion about the 2 weeks, and I would like to talk about this as well. I actually write it down. So the 2-week period, I used to think when I started that this was the standard and that had to be done that way. And I never thought it could be done some other way. But I run my business the way I want to run my business. And then I thought, what if we can make that a 3-week period? What if we can make that a 4-week period? And what I found out that was that babies who were 4 weeks, they were actually much more sleepier and much more relaxed, but they were bigger as well. And they were also very touchy. So when they didn't have the dummy, it was a bit harder for me to maneuver them. So the sweet spot for me was around 10 days. However, if a mum came and she said, look, my baby's a bit bigger, he's 20 days now, can I still do a newborn session? I would never say no, because that baby is still, they still have a right to have photos done. If you're going to say no, the mom is going to assume that, oh, it's too late to get newborn photos done at all. So she's not even going to look for other photographer who is going to do the photos when they're a bit bigger. Number 3 would be when you take the photos as a newborn photographer, it might be a little bit harder for you to again, I don't think so. I used to say that because I used to think that, but right now, 4 weeks, it's still a good age to photograph. They're a bit bigger. They're a bit more clever with their movements and everything. So imagine if you have a little 1-week-old baby and you're trying to take a picture of them. They don't really know yet when you move their fingers or whenever something is happening. They don't really realize that something's happening because they're so small. But when you take a 3-week or a 4-week-old baby, they know when you move them. They have learned already that any movement, they can wake up. That they like their comfort. And I can definitely say that this is happening on a day-to-day basis in my studio as well. The bigger the baby, the more movement, the less sleepy the baby is. However, when you've got the dummy, they'll be able to fall back to sleep much easier than without one. So if the baby's using the dummy, it's fine when they're 4 weeks. If the baby isn't using the dummy, I would go with the lower numbers, for sure. And then I'm going to say to you, I think this isn't an answer to my question. Oh my goodness. You know what? Let's just flow with this. What I wanted to say that, however, what did I want to say? Oh yes, there is also a difference if the baby's best breastfed, or if the baby's on a bottle. And maybe I shouldn't say that. Maybe every baby is different, but whatever I've noticed for the last 10 years working with them, baby on the breast is much more touchy than the baby on the bottle, just because the feeds are different. You know, when you're breastfeeding, there is the first milk that is going, and usually when you're on the session, the baby doesn't really get the full fat milk. They're just getting the watery milk. So they're not as full for longer periods of time, which is fine. It's just the way it is. But I can see a big difference between the baby who's breastfed and the baby who's bottle fed. That's just my opinion. However, let's go back to the question, which is, do you need a niche to be a successful photographer? This is my niche. Newborn photography is my niche, and it's usually the post babies that you see all over social media, which are the lovely outfits and poses. It's not the cuddly, and it's not the lifestyle, which is, it's mom and dad and they're holding the baby in their hands. That's more lifestyle photos. It would be more of the post ones, newborn photography. Do you have to have a niche? This is my niche. So yes, I am going to say, if you want to become a newborn photographer, this would be your niche. Can you become successful without that niche? Of course, you can be successful with whatever you feel like you can be successful, unless you don't feel comfortable and you don't feel confident in doing. So yeah, thank you so much for watching. Let me know in the comments if you have any other questions as well. I will link everything underneath, or you will find it in the comments as well. Bye.